Hello there, I'm Scotty. You're not. Continuing Remake-A-Thon, we are looking at the 2018 remake of Death Wish, starring Bruce Willis. It's the same time, sorry. And so I'm looking up reviews as I do. There's a lot of negativity on this. People giving negative reviews, and I'm sitting there going, why? Why is everybody so negative? The big issue I found is that people are saying, oh, it's just like the millions of others revenge films we have out there. Okay. Problem is, the original Death Wish was the originator of those films. Without the original Death Wish, there wouldn't be any. So those people out there, they know it's a remake. It's not just, oh, it's another one of those. No, they know it's a remake. And they still judge it on that. But I still don't get the hate. This was great. This is a good movie. I'm sorry. I guess there will be a hill of people who really love this movie, and it will be me and Cody Leach, because we seem to be the only ones that gave this thing a positive review. I'm just saying. Because, yes, I'm really positive on this. I enjoyed this. Now, I, of course, have not seen the original. I looked up stuff on it, and it seems like they did tone some things down, because the original came out in 1974, so, of course, back then, it was a little more risque. If you don't know, the basic story is that Paul Kersey, his wife and daughter are attacked and assaulted. The wife dies, the daughter ends up in a hospital. Drastically different in each version, but he plans to go out in revenge and kill each and every one of them. Very simple plot premise. Like you could say, a lot of movies do that. Sure. The same year, Upgrade did about the same thing, but with a chip in the back of the guy's head, and there was only one person that died. You know? You could say that it's a lot of premises, but it only, you know, if it's done well, and it is done well, surprisingly. This is Eli Roth directing. And one of the big reasons why it succeeds over many of Roth's other films is he did not write this movie. I'm watching this, I'm like, this is Eli Roth? This Eli Roth movie doesn't feel like an Eli Roth movie. If you didn't know Eli Roth directed, you would never guess, because it was written by someone else. You know, it's not one of those movies written by Eli Roth where everyone throws out the F-A-G word, or calling everything gay, or has badly written characters. No, these are written well. Maybe, you know, maybe Rob Zombie should take note that, hey, if you have someone else who actually knows how to write characters, write your fucking movie, you'll have a good fucking movie, now wouldn't you? Not everyone has to be a redneck psychopath, now does it? Some of his movies are good. I just like the fact that all the protagonists have to end up in a bad way at the end of the film. It's never a happy ending. It just anyway. And I don't hate Eli Roth by any means. This may be his best. I haven't seen Thanksgiving, so don't start in the comments. Well, actually, Thanksgiving, I haven't seen that yet. That's not till later this year. I'm going to do it. Weirdly enough, I think about doing it for October. It is a horror movie, even though it's called Thanksgiving, but I might just do it for Halloween. Try to go through all those, you know. But anyway, when it comes to Roth's films, I like Cabin Fever, fine. I think the first Hostel is the best Hostel. I think it's decent, you know. And out of the other ones that I've seen, I haven't seen Green Inferno, and I hear some good things to that. But some say that's him trying to be way too into the torture porn thing, which I don't know. I guess I get, but you know. And there's Knock Knock, which I don't care for. That my friend Eric thinks it's one of the best movies of all time. Maybe not of all time, but best movies. I don't know. I never cared for it. I have a lot of criticisms of that movie. I have a review on that I did, Keanuverse. So check that out. But like, yeah, not a big fan of that. So I didn't have my hopes with this. It's Eli Roth, but the writing is good, man. The writing is good. This is based on a book, and it's a remake of a movie that's also based on the same book. So it's not really a re-adaptation, maybe. But like I said, they go in a different direction with some things. So in the original film, the mom is basically, his wife is basically beaten to death. Just beaten. And the daughter is sexually assaulted. And then they go drastically down a different road with the daughter. The wife succumbs to her wounds, and the daughter, well, after finding out what happened to her mom, her brain cracks and she ends up getting sent to a mental institution. Yeah. A little bit darker. I don't think that Paul is an ER doctor in that one, or a surgeon, or whatever he's supposed to be in this. He's not a first responder. He's a doctor, right? I don't think he's in that one. In this one, he is, which I think works with the writing because he's there when the wife and daughter are brought in. The wife is dead, gunshot wound this time, and the daughter was not sexually assaulted. She was just attacked. You gotta kind of, bring it down. You can't do stuff like that in movies nowadays. So that version works. I do think it takes a little long for him to figure out how to exact revenge. He starts just being like a vigilante. He gets someone, brought to his hospital, steals a gun from the attacker, and then he starts training himself to use a gun. And that backfires on him too, because he ends up hurting himself, which is what the cops come after. The cops, Dean Norris from Breaking Bad is one of the cops in this, and he's pretty good for the part that he has. And Vincent D'Onofrio, there's a scene with Vincent D'Onofrio where he goes off on the cops. And, I'm like, that's a pretty good performance, but clearly they only had that scene in there to indicate him as the vigilante doing this. They call the Grim Reaper. Yeah. And once again, I gotta question the design here, because it's like let's just put Bruce Willis out there with a hood on. Seen it. Unbreakable. Hello? I haven't done those movies yet. I probably should. Unbreakable. Seen it. Right? He had a hooded jacket on. Vigilante stuff. Only here he's not impervious to harm like in that one. He's a regular guy. So, yeah. So I kept looking at the TV. I think Bruce Willis does a good job, for everything that's happened to him, and, his brain damage situation. It sucks. But, he was still good here. At the time and afterwards, he stars in these direct-to-video films. I've done a couple of those. What was it? There was one with him and Chad Michael Murray. Not Fortress, but the one that I did before it. Surviving the Game? I think Surviving the Game, whatever it was called. That one where he's just a hostage the entire time and it's Chad Michael Murray that's doing stuff. It feels a little, meh, that one. But if that was when he was getting towards his diagnosis, I understand. But, yeah. Okay, good, that's going down. Because there was a thumbnail of Bruce Willis is staring right at me, and I was like, going like this. Now it's the screensaver for the Roku TV. Yeah, and ultimately, well, there's a running joke with Dean Norris' cop, where he's, who wants gluten? And then he's like, hey, come on, I'm gonna die here. And at the end, after everything is said and done, his partner's like, are you happy now? He's like, no. And he grabs a slice of pizza. Paul's pizza, by the way, eats it and goes, no, I'm happy. I'd be happy too if I was eating pizza, but, So, Paul starts to hunt down these people one by one, right? Because this guy, MJ, who happens to work at a restaurant, he says it's his restaurant, which, he's implied to be very rich. But He's an ER doctor. There's no way it's his restaurant. So he I think he's lying about that. But he meets this MJ. Suppose he doesn't know who MJ is. So yeah, MJ. He's like, "Oh, you a Bulls fan?" He goes, "No, those my initials, Miguel or something." And so he finds him. He's been shot, and that connects him to what happened, because he's the one who told them that they weren't going to be there because he overheard them. See, what happens here is that, so in the original it's just straight up home invades. Here, they're all going to go out to dinner. So when Miguel sent the guys there wasn't supposed to be anyone there. And then Paul got called in to the ER, so that the wife and daughter stay behind. By the way, the wife is played by Elizabeth Shue. She's not in here that long, but what she has, she's pretty good. By the way, in doing my research, I found out the actress who plays the daughter in this, at the time she was in this, she was dating Leonardo DiCaprio, who would have been in his early 40s at the time, and she was 20, 21, depending on when this movie came out. Yeah. And I know about Leonardo DiCaprio's thing with only dating younger women, but hey, technically legal, that's perfectly fine, but it didn't last long. She's like till 2022, I think, so that nice with someone else, because like when they get a certain age, but she's still kind of young, right? She was 21, she's gonna be 21 here, so you got 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, and 24, so she'll be turning 28 this year. What's his age limit? I don't know. It's just, I don't know. But the daughter doesn't have much to do in this. She's okay for what they give her, I guess. But they do say that the character was 17. So I think that's why, one of the reasons why they didn't have the sexual assault scene. Although people like that robbed the house, they're not going to care. But people watching the movie would. She's only 17, why would you have to do that? Again, 70s, didn't matter what age she was, right? Oh, they could have reversed it and have the wife be the one that was assaulted. And then the daughter, I don't know. I don't know. But Bruce, like I said, Bruce Willis does a pretty good job. And he hunts down these guys until, like, there's a character in this literally named Ponytail. He owns a pawn shop because he finds like he keeps getting the tips from the cops, and the cops don't really figure out that that's the connection. And then it's when he tracks down this last guy, and they have a fight in a club bathroom, and they end up both getting shot. And then he goes and he sees his daughter, takes her out, and there's this scene in an elevator. And at first, I just realized he did know who the guy was. They're standing there. He goes, "Have a good night, Dr. Kersey." And I'm like, wait, you didn't say your name. Right? And the final part of the film, it takes place at the house again. There's people coming by, and the cops end up showing up. It was a shootout. Pretty decent done. Gore in this is pretty good. Is Eli Roth, after all. He has decent gore, of course. And I told you really how it ends. The cop eats the pizza, and then in an homage to the original, because the original one ends with something happening, and then you have Charles Bronson looking at the camera and going. So you have it here where someone steals some guy's purse, and he goes, "Hey!" And the purse dealer looks at him, and he goes. But, like, in this version, it's pretty cool because he goes like this, and he goes, dun, 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 it plays AC/DC in the credits. It was pretty cool. I like this, okay? I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. That was well done, especially for an Eli Roth film. I was going in thinking it's the worst possible thing. Dialogue's gonna suck. Gore will be good, but, and that's the thing. People are like, oh, it's a traditional Eli Roth torture porn shit. And I'm like, where? Where, when he's interrogating? Yeah, it's called interrogation. You gotta do some of that shit. It's called torture. You have to torture people to get information in these type of movies. Duh. But it's not like the Saw movies where they're strung up in these weird traps with stuff. Right? It's not, to me, it's not torture porn because it's not trying to indulge in the torture. It's not dragging it out like those kinds of movies do. There's a use for it here. Right? I don't get hate for this movie at all. Like I said, there will be a hill and of people who love this movie, and it'll be me and Cody Leach. We'll stand on that hill together, I guess. So, yeah. So it's pretty good. I would recommend. I would. Sorry it took this long to get to it, but yeah. So what are your thoughts on Death Wish? Leave a comment, so like, share, and subscribe. And up next, I tried to avoid this movie so long, but come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure desecration. A once good director can make. A once good director now makes crap. I need an explanation. If you want to view paradise, it's not this movie, so don't view it. Anything you want to do it. Flush it down the toilet. There's nothing flush to it. Yes. So, thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.